Ladies and gentlemen, my game one review just exploded. Not in the mood to do it again. I'm very sorry, but the gist of it was that I think that BLG prepped super well. They had a better draft. I really hated the Yon first pick when Ash Skarner open. I think the trade is always winning for BLG. The Silas is covered by the fact that Ash and Skarner really dominate the game. And also I mentioned that T1 when Varus, Kalista and Ziggs Jhin is out, landing on Caitlyn against Ash is very rough. Blind picking Braum with Caitlyn is very optimistic. You need to pick something that wins lane for her in this spot. And I think here Caitlyn Braum don't do enough. They had a fantastic level 1 plan, BLG, and also I think that their draft prep here with banning Varus on 3 really made Ash even stronger. The enemy team went Yon, Gnar, Sejuani and dropped bot here. In my opinion, I think the only thing that could potentially have saved this draft for T1 is Xayah Rakan. But they expected the enemy to pick Rakan on 4, and maybe in that spot then, if the enemy picks Rakan on 4, then you can play Caitlyn and, for example, Lux, and have that in a good matchup and look to pressure. So that was the gist of it. BLG had a very nice level 1 plan, very nice Shun gank on top, and then there was a fight on mid lane where Zeus just had no flash. Very hard game for T1 to play because they need to dominate through side, but you know, the main thing is that Knight laned very well in this game and Punish Faker got ahead, and then BLG were just stronger in general because, you know, their 5v5 is just so much stronger. And if the enemy 5v5 is much stronger, you need to build a strong economy for Yon and Gnar. But Yon and Gnar never got started in this game at all in terms of, you know, their gameplay. So that's sad. That's very sad. The vote was just muted. Right. Game number 2. Jax, Yon, they pivoted to Yon ban, and then Varus banned themselves. So someone asked me about Varus ban, why we're banning Varus. The thing is, Varus is the answer into Kalista for both players. So in a world where you ban Ashe and you, for example, you know, take Varus away or don't take Varus away, you know, that's where it becomes a little more tricky. When you pick Ashe Neeko is not as strong as Varus and, for example, Neeko that you can pick into Kalista Renata, so it changes. Varus is just the go-to answer into Kalista, and it's a favorite for both players, more so Gumayushi, because I think he would be the one wanting to play it into Ashe. We also talked about, you know, scaling being contextualized to the other champs in the game. A champion, you know, some champions, you know, just do well with items, so they scale well. Like, for example, Gwen always scales well because she gets a lot of damage. Or Ornn gives ornaments, whatever. But most scaling is determined by how your champion interacts with the other 9 champions. There are games where Kassadin doesn't scale well, there's games where Nasus doesn't scale well. It all depends on the champions that are in the game. Kalista Renata, you know, people might be of the opinion that Kalista doesn't scale so well, but this is one of the games where she actually does scale well, because she can itemize very easily against Rumble and Galio and Zinzar Rakan. And of course, Renata gives her that added flavor, the added survivability to, you know, survive the initial engage. And if she can keep hitting, she will win a very prolonged fight against these type of champions, because she has a lot of defensive options and itemization too, like Yaksho, Terminus, Wit's End, and so forth, right? So I think in this game, it all comes down to, can Kalista Renata get ahead in this game, and can they maintain that lead and transition it later? I think when it comes to, you know, when it comes to the jungle pick, I think here where Sejuani, Kindred, Wukong, Vi, Skarner are out, I do think that Zinzao, Nocturne, you know, I think it's fine. You know, Nocturne is just picked there to be a glorified light bulb and to pressure side if necessary, and that's it, you know, and that's it. They picked Ornn here, which I thought was a very solid lock-in. I think picking that into Rumble, showing an enemy team being relatively low damage, I do think that Ornn is super nice here. I do think that when it comes to the lane swaps, you know, very big strength of Zeus is that he's like very big strength of T1 in general. Honestly, their lane swaps have been pretty fucking good. They know where to be, they know how to pressure, and they know which waves they can steal and how much, you know, how far they can go in a dive and how, you know, low they can go when it comes to their HP bars and how long they can stay. So this game, similar to the previous game, was over rather fast. Let's take a look at some of the details. So we started breaking down, and then someone mentioned that the microphone was fucked on the VOD. So we fixed that now, hopefully. Here at T1, they see Galio on mid wave, and they expect Ashe to be holding a bottom side position. That's why they're looking here for information. But here the volley, I think Elk's position is just very, very good, and then on with a very beautiful W onto 2. They proc the Guardian, but Korea is already very, very low. Here, the main thing that really, really carries this one is just the approach velocity of Elk. It's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy that approach velocity is just so strong, you know, so strong. And another game where T1 start so bad. They start so bad in regards to, of course, their level 1. They give a kill over to Ashe once again, and they lose all summoners on Kalista Renata. I think the big thing here is them choosing to lane swap. So they swap into top side, which was surprising, but I think that they are of the opinion that, oh, we don't have sums and enemy AD has potion longsword. It won't be super easy for us to pressure, and we will already come into bot side with a weaker, weaker position. So I understand why they look for the swap. It's also the enemy champ is Rumble and you have Ornn, so that's another reason. Let's take a look how T1 actually maneuver around this. So here in this unique scenario is both junglers take their side of the red side jungle. Bin TP's into top, but T1 here are Giga slow pushing, just waiting for Nocturne. 2 melees crash into the tower, makes a wave bounce, which is super nice. They're just trying to deny Bin as much as possible. And now the crash comes, and I think here On makes a crucial mistake in terms of the auto attack to take the aggro on Zeus. So Zeus plays this beautifully, you know, the cannon is tanking the turret, so Zeus is not getting any additional XP here. Zeus just landing W on both, and then flash E-ing. I think just here On taking the aggro matters so much. It matters so much. If he doesn't take the aggro, Zeus can't do the same spell combination, because he's kind of hoping, you know, if he does his spells and nobody tanks, then he lost his spells and he just dies. But just that on auto attack, taking the aggro is such a big deal, you know. It's like the W setup as well, On having no flash from before, Ashe no flash. It's just a misplay from On, and Zeus with a very, very nice punish. The W on both, and here's the third aggro, right? It's like he flashes and then E's both, which is just so nice. And just look at that airtime, because of the W that extends CC is super nice. On doesn't use his spells forward, and 1-for-1 here is insanely good. Why is it insanely good? Because Zeus is gonna TP back and no one's gonna be able to dive him, and Billy's bot lane needs to walk away. So I want to really highlight the significance here of T1's play here, because here in this spot, the fact that these 3 melees go into the turret makes such a big difference. Because these melees going into the tower makes the wave bounce into Gumayushi and Korea, which means that they can manage the wave however they want and wait for Nocturne to full clear. Because keep in mind here, Xin Zhao is skipped camps to be on this bot dive while Nocturne is farming, and this is the detail that matters. These 2 melees going into the tower makes this bounce, and it gives Gumayushi and Korea more breathing room to manage the wave. And Bin already TP'd back, and it makes sense to TP back in the spot that he did, because he knows Nocturne's clear. Nocturne started on bottom side and is not invading him, and he knows that Nocturne's not going to be on time for the wave that was crashing. But the fact that 2 melees went into the tower makes the wave slow push into, of course, Gumayushi and Korea. So now they are in tune and in sync with Nocturne, which means that Bin has to walk away. I like that a lot, man. I don't know if it's intentional, these 2 melees going into the tower. Let's just see the mechanic of it, you know. So he queues and gets the Rend stacks onto him, and then he just wants to get the Rend off, which is just Gumayushi stacking Rend stacks on the minion and then queuing through. This is also like a very cheeky, nice mechanic. Like look at that, man. I rarely see players do shit like this, you know, because basically when you stack your rend on a target and you queue through, your rend stacks move on to the next person, you know. Like this is like just beautiful finesse, you know. But just here in this spot here, just the fact that these melees just go haywire, it's kind of crazy that these melees go into the tower, because I don't know if they react because Bin's E. I'm not so sure. Like these melees going into the tower make such a big difference. It's kind of nuts. Because in the end, owner now goes top and is on time for the top dive. And additionally, because they don't crash the cannon and crash the next, it means that Gumayushi and Keria will be level 3, which makes a big difference, right, for the dive, because you have all 3 spells, especially for, you know, Renata. So if Bin gets pushed out, I don't think his TP was wrong. It's just that here in this usual spot, Ornn would get dove, and then they can redive if they play good. But they didn't, plain and simple, they didn't. And this is already such a massive punish. Now Rakan is re-entering top, and Xin Zhao, as we mentioned before, spent so much time invested into that bot dive, which means that he's so far away from completing the clear. I just want to take a look. Like here, he walks out now, and then he just waits for crab, does crab. It's just his clear is extremely like inefficient, right? Because he wanted to be on that bot dive, while owner just skipped his blue. He just skipped his blue, and at the same time the enemy doesn't know. Here the great thing here is just that you know, Bilibili is looking to punish these guys in between turrets, and Bin is getting giga denied. Knight is basically throwing his mid lane position against the Silas, because look at the HP differentials, mana differentials. Knight is in a good spot, right? He is saving Bin here. So they're going for the play and then flash over the wall. But the thing is, Bin, with no heat, no level 3, can't stack his heat, which means he has no damage. They are full sending here on Gumayushi and Keria because the enemy has no sums from the level 1 that we talked about. Now the question is, this game is just decided by, can you reach lethal or not? And Gumayushi here, he takes the full combo, but Bin of course doesn't do enough damage. Gumayushi survives, he gets the bailout as well, and Knight, who flashed over the wall, is not, of course, in big trouble. Owner hits the Q, so he gets the move speed, and then the passive hit as well, and then Faker collapsing because he saw Galio, of course, TP. And then Bin, very, very deep, no flash, and, you know, this is already a game breaker. Massive, massive game breaker. You know, just so many small details that already decided the game. I hope you guys share my appreciation for the beauty of these details. It's truly, you know, something else. Truly, truly something else. It's crazy. If Kalista drops there, probably bail out on Galio, will make her survive. Faker TP's back into mid, and absolutely beautiful sequence for sure. We continue. So now the main question is, you know, Zeus cannot get dove, so can they defend Bin? Can they defend Bin is the name of the game. Xin Zhao is now covering, does golems. Bin catches one wave, but he loses HP for it. Gumayushi squeezes another auto, which is super nice. We continue. Since Rakan taken over here, but they're hovering onto Silas' side. Ornn is a little bit late to the party, and they have Galio ult. That's why T1 is not contesting on the top side. Here comes Galio, here comes Elk with 6, which of course also matters for a fight like this. In my opinion here, this doesn't look too bad for Bilibili, in my opinion. But they didn't look to fight the W out. Maybe they didn't want to fight because, you know, like Rumble is weak or something, but I thought they're gonna fight here, honestly. I see Ashe. You know, it's a trade-off everywhere across the board. I can understand why you wouldn't want to fight, but I can also understand why you want to fight. Like, I just thought that Zinda would like E forward, and then they would just Galio, Ashe Arrow, and just send it. But it goes both ways, right? It's like Ornn is here, Ornn is 6, Silas is 6, but I see an Ashe 6. You know, it's like it's very, very, you know, I'm very torn because I can see from the side, the argument against fighting is that, oh, you try to focus down one target with your arrow and then you get the bailout and then the enemy is just going to win a longer fight. And maybe you just lose the game on the spot. So I can definitely see the argument for both. It's just that it was a big investment going across the map here. And Nocturne also, another detail here is that, you know, Nocturne gets 6 after 1. So he reaches 6 here, if I remember correctly. Actually, it doesn't get 6 after 1. He needs the crab even. It's just the major amount of XP you get from the 6. Yeah, there's some shared advantages. I could see the W of Renata just being a big problem. So Zeus went across the whole map and he sees the bot wave is slow pushing. Very, very beautiful detail from T1 once again. Is that bot wave is slow pushing and they know that the enemy team needs to catch it. Zeus doesn't want to go bot to take 3 minions. Zeus is saying, guys, let's stack a monster wave on top and let's dive these guys with our champs. We have Nocturne ult, we have Ornn ult. We dive when somebody shows on bot. They need to go bot to farm. That is what they say right now. They see that the bot wave is slow pushing, Ornn doesn't want to go bot, they don't have any TP to fix that wave. So how do they create a circumstance where the enemy pays an equal price, where either they lose the top wave or they lose the bot wave? Exactly how T1 did it. So Owner here now, with his 6, is looking and they push the enemy out because they want to stack the wave. They don't want Bilibili to actually be able to walk on the wave, and they manage to get the cleanse, they manage to get Ornn's HP too, which matters. Sometimes we call this a whipper trade, right? And now Silas is on the mid wave, he sees Galio is not there. He sees Galio is not there, they didn't see Rumble yet, and Rumble is walking on bottom side. Rumble is now walking to mid instead, and Knight now sacrifices his lane to show up here. But the most important thing is, can they spot Knight or will they not, right? Knight being in fog of war is extremely important here because he wants to invite the dive, and then Knight here shows his big face, you know? He shows his big face, and T1 are fine now with continuing the siege and not diving because currently it's 4 against 4, and Rumble is on mid wave. So Zyra says, guys, we can just maintain the status quo here because the bot wave, as long as it crashes and the enemy doesn't farm it, we are going to win. We are going to win completely. So Rumble now walks into bottom side because that big monster wave is stacking. Bilibili take the decision. We are going to just defend this 4v5 under the turret. So this bot wave now is collapsing into the tower, and then the moment T1 see Rumble on the bot wave, see how the posturing changes. So on from before, obviously losing that much HP, forcing him to base, him not being under the turret at this point in time is a bad thing. Shun not reaching 6, trying to farm it on the golems and then the red is also something that is quite problematic. Now T1 collapse, Zeus is trying to pull the wave to make it stack, make the wave that is coming crash. Here in this spot, right, the Rumble ult is quite terrible from Faker, but they're just trying to punish the fact that the Rumble is on bot. They are 5v4 here, they're going to rock and roll. Obviously, a lot can go wrong. I thought they are crazy to go for this, and not a lot of teams would be able to pull this off. I literally think these are the 2 teams that would be able to pull it off. I think there is no other teams that would pull this off, if I'm going to be honest. I think that most other teams wouldn't have the balls to do it. The teams that could, because you need the perfect mix of balls and hands here. It's a game of baseball. So Rakan got chunked. And then here, Faker just says, I don't want this guy to fucking enter, so I'm gonna just trade hard with him as the wave is crashing. They don't want On to enter, and now the dive is happening. Rumble pushed bot, and he committed. And look at that TP timer. They know exactly his TP timer, and they just full send it. Here I thought, when I was watching this live, I was like, give Zeus the MVP for his dive play and also this play. But when I rewatched it, Zeus was a bit of a goofball. So he tanks the arrow and he doesn't get the Ornn ult. He R's floor and then he flashes and gets a nice Q. But it's just Kyria's beautiful handshake here that is just tremendous. Look at this handshake. He's aiming it towards Elk, who has no cleanse. And Shun flashes into it. He gets grabbed. Actually, he doesn't flash into it. Elk just gets grabbed. I thought Shun actually flashed into it, but it just turns out that it's too late. Because see, Korea's handshake is just completely, like, it's very dreamy, man, that handshake. Because it lines up the combo from Zeus on the Q beautifully. And then they get the full CC, and then Gumiyoshi ults his boy Korea to get another CC, and Zeus just survives with a sliver of health. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous play from T1. Just identifying based on the bot wave that Zeus doesn't want to go there is so damn nice. It's so damn nice. It's like Shun trying to flash into it is kind of nutty, but instead, like, I don't think it's intentional for Shun. I think Shun, because keep in mind, he doesn't see the Renata, right? I don't think Shun is doing this intentionally because, yeah, he doesn't see where Renata is when the Q is flying. Keep that in mind. He's trying to flash the E of Zeus, in my opinion, and away from the homies. That handshake just CC'd everybody in the building. Insanely placed Q from the 6th best support at Worlds, according to my tier list. Kick. All right. So now the conditions of Kalista Renata have been fulfilled. Very, very good. They are very, very solid. Blade Ruin King advantage. Puts him ahead on Grubs. Puts him ahead on any Drake. Puts him ahead on any Siege as well. They just commit to the top side. Billy are in a tough spot. It's like they have Knight TP, right? That's the only thing they can play on. But T1 is going to get chip damage with the Grubs always. And that's it. Owner with his ult is just the one pressuring mid. I like this. I like the flexibility, you know, you don't need to, just because you're jungle doesn't mean you can't hit waves. I like it a lot, you know. I like the fact that Owner says, oh, I can push this wave, Silas is in base and my team is sieging top and Zeus is just being Orn. That's great. I like this a lot. I like this level of flexibility because I don't think that, it's like your champion is your champion. Your role is really indifferent. I like this, you know. A lot of junglers are going to be like, oh, why should I be hitting mid wave? Somebody should take this. No, just hit the mid wave. The tempo is better like this, and Zeus is just doing the job of a jungler here. I like that, you know. Because in the end, Nocturne pushing mid, he's the one with the semi-global ult, you know, and he can always connect, and he was on the wave. Very nice flexibility, you know. If you do this shit in solo queue. Like, I remember, like, there was a Rengar jungle meta, and I said to my player, if Rengar is stronger than enemy solo laner, let him be the one to push out top and just buy support item and group. He's like, no way I'm gonna do that. It's like, why? It's like, yeah, it just feels wrong. Like, oh, it feels wrong. Oh, okay. It feels wrong. I remember there was a strategy that I tried to push on the Fnatic boys, where I said, if we play set mid, I want us to swap our bot lane into mid after first base. That's what I said. So basically, we had set, the idea was very simple. I was like, okay, we don't have Prio with set mid, but we will have Prio with our AD and support on mid, and we will accelerate the XP that our AD will get. And in the meantime, the enemy can't dive our set, and we can choose to defend bottom side or pressure dive on top. Gives us a lot of initiative in the game. Basically a pseudo version of the funnel. And no, it feels so awkward. Yeah. Sometimes, you know, some ideas never come to life because pro players are very silly. Happens, guys. Happens. Here, you know, Korea is just getting information. He's getting information for Silas, getting information for Owen. Him face shaking here is just Kalista things. So yeah, he spots Galio Rakan, he's not gonna die, he's chilling. He's chilling. He spotted now Galio and Rakan, his team can play for free, and you know, he's just playing with Kalista. Good stuff. On is level 5 against 7. My man needs some XP. He's not even 6 on, of course, the grub timer. The best window for fight for Bilibili is probably when they finish first item here on Kraken against only Blade, and in my mind here they should go all in. Silas is in the bottom side, and Bilibili are just looking to fight on one item timer. I think that Faker does a good job of just trading with Knight, extends it with his full Conqueror stacks, because the initial trade does look rough, but he just extends it, gets 3 Ws off, and uses Conqueror to get out. And T1 do a good job of just keeping it interesting for Bilibili. They keep it very, very interesting. They tether to the enemy, don't give the engage. Elk is hesitant to arrow Keria because he has Callisto ultimate, and Gumiushi, you know, will eventually have cleanse. He actually just realized now that he doesn't have cleanse. I wonder now, I think the mistake from Bilibili is just not hitting this Herald. I think that they should. I think that here Bilibili should just all in. I don't like how timid Bilibili actually played this. I think they should just fucking hit the Herald here. Like, this is definitely like the moment for them to come back into the game. Like, obviously they are 3k gold behind, but that gold is not effective right now. The gold advantage is in Renata's pocket and Callista's pocket, and right now she has a recurve bow and pickaxe. Recipes are the most OP component in this game because you can only buy them to complete items. And in this moment, Calista is not enjoying her big lead over Ashe. The same way Renata is not enjoying her big lead against the Rakan. It's 6 versus 7, both have ult, and also Renata doesn't have her Mikhails yet. So they really, really need to take this chance. Really, really important to take this chance. And how do they take this chance? By keeping the Herald leashed. Because right now T1 is just playing with them. They're just playing with them. And T1 is also aware, like that's a very nice detail of T1, is that I think Bilibili, when they win fights, they want to fight more. I think we saw that definitely in game 4. Are you hungry or not yet? I'm not so hungry yet, I don't know. I can wait. It's like Bilibili always, when they win a fight, they want to fight more. In some cases, it's very true. You should be doing that. But in some cases, it's not. And that can be very punishing because sometimes leads are only relevant in some specific games. I just think that it's important to not only look at the details of the scoreboard top, you have to look at the items too, because here the game is relatively even. So in the end, Faker is trading against Knight. I think that Knight gets the base off, and Bilibili do a mistake in my opinion by not hitting Herald there in that spot. I really think they should have. Gumiushi had no cleanse. I think this was a kind of a uncharacteristic mistake of Bilibili, but you can see that T1 is a lot warmer in this game in comparison to the first one. On gets chunked out, he dashes out, so it's not that big of a deal. Her own vision, and they pull Herald, and then they decide not to. And I don't know, this was all just very, very strange. It's like Galio has TP, Knight has, you know, his TP with item now. I think that the situation is much better for Bilibili. But I think that the Zinza ult is pretty bad, and I think that just the Callisto ultimate is just too fucking valuable in this fight that comes up. Because it's just the Callisto, look at the Callisto ult value. It's crazy. I think the Callisto ult value is just nuts here. I don't know why Zinzao ults. He just saves Silas. But very nice reaction from T1, right? It's like the moment the engage comes through, Callisto ult saves Renata, and with the Nocturne Fog of War, you can see how misplaced T1 become. This fight is only reasonable if they can one-shot Silas. And if they don't, it's of course very, very bad. But T1 just get the biggest wombo combo ever. It's like, I think additionally, you know, here as well, you know, On needs to play on his E. He already used spells. Guys, I know that like here, Rakan still has E in my mind. Rakan has E. If Zinza ults after the combo, like if he Zinza ults for damage, I think if they one-shot Sylas here, they can still win, right? Like they still have spells to play on, and it's a Galio that is being comboed in the Zinza ult, you know. So I don't think if they don't, I think if they kill Faker here, it can change this fight a lot. Like the Rakan ult charms them, does a lot of damage. I do think it could make a difference. Just keep in mind, if Zinza doesn't ult, it means that he has ult, right? that's the detail that matters here. But either way, I like, obviously if there's a situation where 3 people get hit the way they do, then it can be very, very losing. Still, I do think this is the best fight Bilibili can get in this game. I think if they don't take this fight, I think that the game is just losing. So looking for this fight, I still think is a good move. Sylas had half HP. You have 1 item versus 1 item on literally every roll. This is the best fight you're going to get in the game. Sure, I understand the homies in the chat. Like if Faker doesn't get one shot here, that he can just that still the wombo combo is going to kill them. I can see that still, but I just don't want to underestimate here how much damage Faker actually does here, you know. But the Ornn combo is pretty fucking nasty too. Like Ornn did a shit ton of damage. Of course, after this, the game is just completely lost. We can fast forward a little bit. There was a situation where they tried to trap Sylas on top right. And this is also one of those moments where it's like, oh, this is the best thing you can do, you know? It's like here, they spot, I believe, Renata on a ward. This type of play is the best play that you can do. It's the best play you can do, in my opinion. He doesn't die, happens. But if you don't do this, the enemy is going to push you out of Nash. That's it. They tried to one-shot Faker. They didn't have the damage to do so. He steals the Zenza ult, which makes Ashe not kill him. Nocturne ult comes through, and that's it. Might look like Bilibili's thing, but the game is just in a losing spot. This is like a 10% play that might give you something, and they went for it. And in a different world, they don't take this play. They get pushed out. Enemy starts Nash. They lose. You know, I'd rather have teams lose like this than the other way, right? Exact mirror of, you know, just good present mind from Faker to just steal the Zinza ult. Good reaction from everybody, and Faker lives. And the game is over. Let's move to game number 3, guys. Game number three, Bilibili on blue side. I think it was very important for Bilibili to actually manage to win a game on red, which is super, super big, right? Because we did realize that first picking AD was such a massive thing for the series. But more on the game 5 later, because that was the price they got for winning on red side. But here, just Bilibili, Varus, Ashe makes Kalista insanely OP. That's all. It's like Varus, Ashe are the go-to answers, and you end up on Xayah against it. That's very optimistic. You take the Jax Renata, obviously, these are just denials from the enemy, and then the enemy goes Rumble and Blitzcrank. Sylas gets locked in here instead of the Draven, which I was kind of expecting, but Sylas has a Blitzcrank ult, which is super powerful, so they went for the Sylas. The Nico ban was quite cheeky. I liked it because it allows you to pick Renata 1-2, right? The enemy has to choose. If they go Renata, you get Kalista, and you can probably go deeper, and then on go to answer into Renata would be Nico with the Kalista. So I like the Nico ban, it was quite clever in an Aurora Yon. The Skarner ban lets you always first pick AD, but I think in those spots that's where the Kalista ban should come through. This is what we saw in the final game, right? Where Varus, Ashe, Skarner, and then Kalista was out, and then there's now literally no first pick, right? No first pick at all. Now all the first picks are out of the pool. All the first picks are just completely out of the pool. But okay. Here in this spot, I think T1 in the 4-5 made a very, very big mistake. Banning Akali, Wukong, inviting Kindred Galio. I think it's delusional to think that Galio didn't do well in this game, in my opinion. Galio sacrifices lane, TP'd lane top for 3 minutes straight to defend the dive that just didn't work, and he TP'd top as well. I had this argument on stream, that's why I mention it. I mention it again, you know? I mention it again. I think that Galio was extremely strong. This loss had nothing to do with Galio's strength. It was funny on my stream. It was kind of driving me crazy, but now we know for sure. So Akali, I think Galio is the better ban, or Kindred is the better ban. You can prioritize picking by yourself. Wukong and Kindred would be the go-to answers for, of course, you know, Mr. Shun. You could do like a Sejuani-esque draft, but they banned Sejuani themselves, inviting the Vi. And then here with the Akali, Wukong, just Kindred Galio value is so immense. It's like you're playing full melee with Jack Silas Vi against Kindred Galio. That's really, really bad. Obviously, the Kindred Galio is way better than Zinzal Galio as an example, you know? So in my mind here, I think this was a very, very bad draft from T1. I think both these two games, I think it's very, very one-sided draft-wise, in my opinion. This one and this one. I think on the prep end, I think that Bilibili did a better job besides the final game, if anything, you know, because I do think that T1 had very good responses against all of the champions that Bilibili love playing, right? These are all Bilibili favorites, but very, very weak in the spot, but more on that later. All right, game number 3. What happened in game number 3? We had the Kalista, the Blitzcrank. No, I think everything just kind of exploded quite early. This is the first one where Gumayushi and Korea didn't die level 1, so that's progress. Let's go. Rumble catches, and then I think, if I remember correctly, doesn't Rumble just get Giga Feather for this? Like he catches a full wave, doesn't get dove. Let me remind myself of what actually happened in this game. Kindred was sniffing a potential invade, maybe gank on Faker, and he crosses. Vi is not on time to crash, and they are over pushing level 3 Gumayushi Korea, but Bin can't get dove because Vi is not on time. There we go, he gets spotted as well. Very cheeky move here from Shun to actually not kill the crab, so the next mark is on this crab because the bot crab was marked, so he just does the classic thing of Kindred to just base and then walk on the crab again, which is very, very nice and cheeky. Owner is aware of the same detail. He knows because Jax put a ward and he knows that the mark will come there, and Owner is trying to smite, steal and walk away. But Knight is already undermining him because he walked on the ward. So here comes Knight, Galio. Shun doesn't get the smite, but he just flashes onto Owner because he knows he has backup from Bin and Nai. And in the end they get the takedown. And this is just super fucking good. Super, super good. Shun takes the enemy chickens as well, and then he crosses into his own bot side, does chickens and golems into cross top side for the grubbies with his recurve bow. So T1's bot lane crashed into top side. Here I think Faker just probably just his E usage. If he holds E, I think he can never die to something like this. And I think if he flashed the flash, I think that just Nimbus will catch up onto him and he will die anyway. So I think flashing after Eing is not the way. But really, really nice timing gank here from Bilibili. And of course, Shun ends up on 2 marks through this gank. And this was, of course, you know, if I think Faker trying to push his wave out because Galio showed them both is just greedy. I think he needs to wait for the enemy action, right? Because right now, Zaya, Renata are respecting, but they are playing around the Vi timer. So they are looking to 3v3 on top side. And as they're trying to 3v3 on top side, there's no reason for Faker to contest a neutral wave. if anything, he should just base on the neutral wave and walk away. But he didn't. So this is a mistake from Faker. Yeah. I think in terms of some of the lane phases, you know, Faker's, you know, if there was some weakness to point to, it'd probably put that. But in a lot of these games, it ended up not mattering too much, right? All right, we continue. Really good lane assignments across the board in my mind when it comes to Bidi Bidi. They put mid Kalista Blitzcrank when it was necessary. And I think that Galio's strength in this game is that he's fine against both solo laners, which in my opinion is just Galio was giga broken at this tournament. I think Galio was like a clear MVP. Clear MVP for me when it comes to this tournament. 369 was definitely one of the worst Galios that I've ever seen, but I do think that Galio was a super important curveball and was a crucial pick in these series, you know. We continue. All details kind of come down to who's going to be stronger on grubs. Obviously, blue side in this spot is much better off. Faker's quite behind, and Elk is going lethality, which makes sense, you know, because he knows that hitting Q on either Zaya or Renata is giga significant. Giga significant. In the end here, Faker has a slower base timer, and Knight is finishing Hollow Radiance on base. So he just snapped TPs here because he knows that Faker is practically on a 14-second death timer here, right? He can't TP straight away because he's too weak and he's just gonna die. He needs to base, heal, and then TP, which is 14, 15, 16 seconds sometimes. So he's practically on a death timer. So Knight gets the base first because he has Pry on bot, and he just TPs on top wave, and Bin ults the wave to clear it. The CC chain comes through, and in the end they just send it on Zeus, who has nowhere to flash because Shun is here. Shun doesn't mark him for the mark, or high mark, and doesn't get it. T1 tried to punish by engaging on mid, but here the mistake from owner is that he's ulting a Blitzcrank with Kalista ultimate, and then Elk with the cleanse on the handshake doesn't get pulled. Very nice snap cleanse, I like that a lot. And that's it, you know. Already that's a game changer. T1 tried to be in river first. Faker gets CC chained. Bin here probably should just flash over the wall and barbecue the enemy. I think you should just fucking send it here, but he gets queued by owner. The CC onto Korea is very deep, trying to save Faker at all costs. Korea dies, and in the end, Faker does too. He survives for a very long time though. It's kind of funny. Faker tries to find an exit, but in the end he doesn't. Maybe if he ran, like imagine if he ran in this little pocket. Like imagine if he ran away now. Imagine if he ran now. You could have been so close because Vi is there to give him a hand. No pun intended. And Faker dodges into the bush. Maybe if he walked two chickens there, maybe Faker would get out and it would have been a legendary play again. The fact that Galio clipped him with Q made him not be able to execute, so he was doing some crazy business, but there's that. And obviously from this point, I think the game is just finished. It's like Shun is on 2 marks, which isn't super exciting, but just everyone's condition is so lovely here. The Desire game is quite miserable to play in my opinion. You don't have the same level of defense as the previous game, and out of lane you didn't come out so strong. There's a big difference, right? When you pick Zion to Kaiser, is that you have a very, very strong lane phase, right? That was the biggest issue for him that game. All right. Shun just being a big bully. Blizzard and Kalista have prio mid, so they can walk first on any situation. Here comes the gang. Faker has no TP. They manage to defend in the end because the spells don't land. And Billy. Kind of very similar to what we saw in game 3, right? It's like, sorry, game 2. is the exact mirror of it. Is they are pushing the enemy out, threatening dive, staying, sieging, pushing them out because you have the quicker move, and that's it, you know. T1 tried to race for the bottom tower, but Galio just is so damn tanky with his Tabi and Hollow Radiance, who just walks in and clears the wave. This game is just doomed on so many levels. It's just completely doomed, you know? Really, really doomed. At least T1 got the mid tower, but it's not super important. Especially because you are weaker on the mid wave when Kindred is in Fog of War. Very hard to full send it on Kalista Blitz when they have Kalista ult. Just collecting turrets left and right with the Rift Herald as well. Let's see if there's anything interesting in this game, because I guess this displays something. The Rumble ult wasn't super exciting. On gets a hook on Gomayoshi. I think the Kalista ult was very late. I don't think On needs to drop so low. I think Elk can just ult earlier here, for example. He's just taking so much damage for free. They could reset this fight after the hook and the Xayah ult. Because the enemy is going to lose CS. Like, look at the bot wave, top wave. I like that Bilibili is forcing it. It's just that Kalista ult should have been used here and would have been better. And I think it would have made more sense. In the end, I like that Shun doesn't ult here to save his Galio, I believe. Because here in this spot, he has to choose, right? It's like, I'm going to save Knight, or I'm going to save Vi in the process, right? And Vi is marked by Shun, so he's just looking for, of course, a mark, that's all. They get the mid turret and the enemy loses CS on bot and on top. So they're happy with this exchange, Bilibili. Let's take a look deeper. It's going to be a play that T1 do, which is deja vu of game 3, right? They're trying to kill Galio here. It's like, here T1, you know, they see Blitzcrank, Kalista, Kindred around mid. So they just full send it. They try to break the tempo of the enemy. They try to send it with TP. Exactly the same as game number 2, where they try to catch Silas. Here they have a window where they have faster into a play. So they just try to full send it, but obviously Galio is just a bit too tanky. A bit too tanky here with the Aftershock and with the itemization, of course, and the Rift Maker. It is just unkillable. Alright, let's head into game number 4. The Faker. The Faker Masterclass begins. Let's take a look at draft first. So in this one, let me remind myself, I do think that Bilibili had the better draft. But I said in Champion Select that this is not a Bilibili draft. No nameplates, this is a win. If Genji played this draft against Blue Side Draft, they beat any team in the world. Plain and simple. I think their draft is a lot better. I think that playing Renata against Ziggs, Smolder can be very miserable. I think that Bilibili have like decent matchups across the board. I think that they are chilling. Especially with how the game played out. Bilibili did a fantastic job. Fantastic job of getting ahead. But then they kept fighting. Kept fighting. Their other Smolder game, which was against Weibo Gaming, this wasn't a great game. This wasn't a great game. In the same vein, when I said that this is not a T1 draft, this is not a Bilibili draft. This requires precision, discipline, you know. I think Bilibili completely trolled draft in game 4. No, I think that if you're capable of playing disciplined, this is a complete free win. But I don't think that this is something that Bilibili is good at. Like, if we discuss the strength of draft, we have to do it without nameplates. And I do think that the red side wins really hard. Really hard. Like, Poppy doesn't offer anything. Renata has a really hard time against the range. And like Rumble is also like Rumble here with no CC in your team. Like, horrible. Really bad. You get Mikias or Rakan, and then what can the enemy really do, you know? Let's take a look at the game. This is where Faker really stepped up. really, really stepped up. There were moments where Korea looked really defeated in the camera. You cannot go Smolder and let T1 run the early and mid game like that. I think that people misunderstand Smolder sometimes. You know, Smolder's picked into Yone and Silas because he can contest lane. Like, Smolder's not weak in lane against melee champs on midwave. I'm telling you that much. Like, Grasp, Smolder can win. And that's what makes him so oppressive. And what makes Ziggs and Smolder so OP is that in map trades, they can easily just one-shot waves from afar. So if you're committing push on one side and you see enemy jungle and support cross into your side, you ult a wave, and then the other side of the map is ahead one wave. And that is extremely powerful. Extremely powerful. You guys remember the comp that Genji played against FlyQuest? Genji played it against FlyQuest in game 5. They have Rumble, Ziggs, Smolder. Every side of the map, if blue side tries to commit into it, they can just ult the wave, reset, and be one wave ahead on the other side of the map. And that makes it very hard to be proactive. Very hard. You get to collect objectives if the enemy doesn't want to fight, and then the question is, are those objectives enough? And I think in a game like this, they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. But first, I don't think that Knight's numbers were impressive at all when it comes to the Smolder gameplay, which I don't like. That's why I don't like Knight's Smolder. And, you know, Bilibili as a team, they lack the discipline and the patience. Let's take a look at some of the details. So T1 swap into top side blind. They get the Ziggs Rakan. Like, this is like, I don't know if they were trying to do a thing where they are matching. I'm not so sure what the thought process was here for T1, because I think it's very bad. I think it's quite terrible, to be honest. Like, you're playing against Ziggs Rakan, they are really piss useless level 1, and then Rumble lane, so you just end up in a swap. I think that's very bad for your game. Bilibili cross into bottom side, and they take, you know, they're looking for the dive on Zeus. This time Bin is already here, and Shun is also in a good position, because in the previous alteration, the Xin Zhao took his camps and then crossed. In this alteration, Poppy started on enemy camps and Shun started here. So this, obviously, Zeus is not playing some champion that can miraculously survive. It was very close. He ended up dying in the end, but it did get toasty, if I say so myself, on just tanks, and then they reset, and then they kill, and Bin gets out with the potion and Dora shield healing. And now Bin wants to base and TP top. So Zeus is ahead. Bin is very far behind, right? Because even though Zeus died, he didn't manage to catch a lot of fucking CS, you know? He caught a lot of CS in terms of XP. So Bin is half a level, Zeus is 2.5 a level, right? 1.5 level. So Zeus also gets a freeze, which is super nice for him. And Ziggs and Rakan, very bad tempo, need to base, and Ashe bounced the wave. The very nice detail here from Gumeyushi is that when Renata went bot, this is just proof of how Bin is not as good a player. I think he's trolling us. I think that's bait. I think that's bait. Don't get baited, guys. I think the most important detail, right, is that Bilibili didn't bounce the wave bot properly. And Gumeyushi bounced the wave right on time. So Bin walks top because he's slow pushing out and he's gonna lose maybe 3 melees to keep TP. He takes that trade. But already look at Zeus's XP. It's 3 against 1. Krienals goes into the top side.
No, can you come 1 minute?
Not really, why?
Can't really explain.
Okay, right back guys, 1 minute. All right. Okay. Where were we? So, once again, detail from before is like Gumayushi is bouncing the wave back the moment Poppy and Renata is in position, which is super nice, right? Which pushes Bin off. Here, Ziggs and Rakan are into the rumble because the wave was freezing, and the issue is that they don't have pressure to dive the rumble who's level 4 with their jungle, Sejuani, Rakan, and Ziggs, right? Zeus is gonna get level 4, the wave was frozen, and you know, it takes a lot of effort for them to kill him, because in the end, Zeus is getting XP. That's the main thing that matters. Like, Zeus is getting XP. Here, I think he gets the cannon in the end, right? He does kill the cannon, gets XP for a kill. Because keep in mind, Sejuani is investing time, right? Sejuani investing time, and also Rumble's getting XP. It might be silly, but it's like these deaths are not that bad. Because Poppy is 28 CS and Sejuani is level 3, and during this entire process, Bin is getting completely zoned. Gumayushi is now level 5 while Bin is level 2. Zeus is level 4 while Bin is level 2. It all comes back to, you know, the initial situation where the bot wave is not bounced. So let's take a look at this. Here in this spot, they kill Zeus, right? They kill Zeus, and Zeus is still getting a lot of fucking XP. My career last hitting the cannon minion was really good. And here in the end, they kill Zeus, but he got a lot of XP. And the cool thing here is just that it's so silly, because the minions drop so low, but they can't crash the wave. And I think that they pull the minions, and I think that T1 is so aware of this. The fact that they keep the freeze here is so brilliant. I feel like T1, when it comes to the lane swaps, that awareness of the waves is so beautiful. So damn good. So they freeze the wave here, which makes it so Rakan and Ziggs can't open on top side. Because if Bin is forced to go bot here to try to unfreeze, he's fucked in the lane. He can't unfreeze this. And this is what makes Bin's game impossible to play. Gumayushi bounce, and also the freeze for the rumble. So they kill rumble in the end, but at a big cost, because Bin is now level, you know, Bin is in just economical problem. At least Bin here gets a kill from Shun. Because it's funny, it's like Bin is on 1 CS, guys. He is just on 1 CS when he gets his kill. If he doesn't get this kill here, then he's in deep problem. But I really like that Shun spots this and skips the Gromp and gets a kill on Zeus in the end here, which is really, really massive. Because otherwise Bin is just tragic, you know? It's very, very tough. But Zeus on 3 deaths, there we go. Bin level 3, crashes the wave on level 4, and during this time where Sejuani is bottom side, obviously T1 get the grubs. Yeah, the River Jax game was very similar to the River Ornn game, right? Like, oh, the wave is stacking on bot, I'm just gonna full send it. Yeah, and this matchup is just comes down to, can Silas hit chain or not? He could have taken Dragon after killing Rumble, and instead he resets for no reason. No, he couldn't, I think. I think he doesn't have enough time, no damage to do it, because the enemy just finished grubs, and if they cross through mid because they are stronger and they have support prio, then he is just completely throwing the game. So I don't think that he can do it. I think he needs to base and just open on his top side camps, because he needs to prevent dive, and he needs to, you know, clear his camps to get level 5 and, you know, be on tempo. Yeah, this is T1 just being psychotic, as always. This is T1 that is 2-1 down, zoning enemy off the turret, walking on elk like this. One gets XP, but Gumayushi is 6 and they're leveraging it. I want to see if they have information on Sejuani. They don't. They're just walking here like they are from New York, which is funny to me. Maybe they just have Ashy, is that what happens? Oh, Ashy comes through Hawkshot, there it is. The Hawkshot spots Sejuani, and that's why they go like psychos. I'm walking here. That's the Hawkshot that spots Sejuani, and then they walk between turrets. Very nice. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay. That's kind of crazy that Bilibili lost this game, isn't it? It's kind of nuts. Like been recovered, mid situation, solid 60 stacks, 86 CS. Only problem has been his economy. Yeah, this Faker solo kill is just fucking tremendous. Like, Faker was not fucking going down without a fire, man. This is just so fucking cool that he pulls this off, man. Gets a flash into W auto. Woof. Fucking tremendous. And this is the beginning of something beautiful. I think the main thing is just Elk not getting his base off. Like, Elk just looking forward to squeeze the plating while Salas is here. This is very bad. Bilibili lost his game because On trolled before Elder. No. No, you're very wrong. But that's okay. You see someone die, so he must be trolling, right? It's a lot more extreme. The game was over before Elder because they had no realistic way of getting information. All right, so Vega gets a kill. He's on the board, which is massive, right? Because he's gonna finish Proto Belt. Super cool. Any fight should still be winning for T1, right? Bilibili is scaling. They want to scale. Here, the main thing for Korea is that he doesn't have a Callisto ultimate, but I was very surprised that Korea actually lived here. I thought he was going to die. Let's see what can be done differently. So you get the main damage from Knight, and then he is kiting away. I don't know, is On just greedy? Does On not charm Korea here? Let's see what happens. So he does charm, and then tries to charm Gumayushi, does it. Gumayushi doesn't cleanse, and they just can't find lethal. I think they can, so just Korea buffering the ult. I wonder if the CC chained better, if there was something to do, but I think he always gets it off, honestly. Always gets it off. I think Korea just can't die here. So the main thing I was screaming during the call stream is I was so scared because I don't know, something about Bilibili and not playing patient that is just is rough, you know. Like here they're pushing forward on Elk's base timer and they're losing summon on. This is so pointless, you know. Pointless. They could just be into bot side already, give, you know, Nar some reprieve. They could be clearing camps, full vision bottom side, drop wards, maybe it's taking me chickens, take golems, you know, keep busy in a beautiful way, but instead they are like self-contesting, losing sums. I really don't like that shit. And that's why I don't think Bilibili is good. Here's also just respecting the Sejuani, of course. He's trying to read how Nara's moving. Because obviously if you hide in Fog of War, Sejuani is usually not going to sit and trap, right? He goes for it. Vinny's out. Just gets the crash. And now Honor's into position. He had just been makes a miracle play. It's very sad that the W doesn't land. Here was such a decisive moment because Bilibili, they needed to take the win. They really needed to take the win. But they wanted more. And that's the story of Bilibili, right? They always want more. And that has been the winning recipe for Bilibili. They always want more. They go on Zeus. Korea's not hidden. They did spot him with the Sejuani. Just imagine a world here where they just play the position, you know, and accept it for what it is. It could have been so massive. Bin survived the dive, and Owner is playing off of Renata's spell so beautifully. He goes forward, gets the Renata spell. Korea's ultimate is not the greatest, but just Owner living here and Zeus flashing forward. This was a fight that Bilibili invited. I think if they manage to let Bin save this wave, or if they pressure Korea here, I think they should be so happy. This is a very, very poor choice. But on the other side, you know, Owner played this like a fucking demon. And Zeus too. Like, Bin is not in condition to fight. He really isn't. I'm trying to look at what's happening here on top. Like, let's take a look at this little screen, because apparently half of the story of the game happens in the pip. We don't get a replay. So he hits the E, and then he's just hitting back. Doesn't have mana. Does he have mana for one E? The Q doesn't land. He heals off of it. He doesn't have mana for it. Oh, it looks like Faker does have mana for E. I might be wrong. So hard to tell from the pip. Because I was just thinking if Knight can flash Alt to Q and kill him. But if Faker has mana for E, maybe it's dangerous. EW, I don't know if he has mana. Really don't know. But okay. T1 get a fight when they want to fight. When Bilibili didn't need to fight. And they are super happy. They get first tower and they're chilling. Let's continue. Here in my mind as well, you know, I don't mind hitting Herald, but they should hit it in a way where they can, you know, reset it. I think you just pull it out towards any side, then you reset it and you make the enemy waste time and you queue out. But instead here you just leash it and you make the situation so incredibly dangerous for no fucking reason. You should just be able to unleash it. And then at least the enemy wastes time and Smolder gets the push bot and you're chilling. And them killing Herald would be such a bigger time investment. I think that would have been massive. But no, they tried to go for broke. Very greedy. Okay. So the name of the game still for T1 is they want to take any fight they can, and obviously Knight wants to reach stacks. 16-minute, 125 stacks is not so impressive. Not so interesting. Here I thought that Bin is just a psychopath. I couldn't believe my eyes when he did this shit. This E forward is nuts. This is just crazy. This is nuts. And look at this. Look at the information he's playing with, right? So Rakan takes the arrow, right? Super good. He blocks the CC, the scheduled. Cool. They are fine. They are fine. But they send it. They get the CC chain. And Bin survives by some miracle, right? He flashes in the last possible second. They kill Poppy, they kill Gomayushi. And you think again, damn. You think, damn, they are actually fucking just winning this game. Because we're back in the initial state. They win a fight, a 16-minute stake a turret, and get, you know, so much breathing room. Because that's what you get from winning and getting ahead. You get breathing room. Because the truth of your composition doesn't change when you're ahead, right? It only changes the timing of when you're super strong. But somehow he won't find a fight. Why? This has been E4, man. It's psychotic. It's insane. Damn. Look at the faces. They don't know, guys. They don't know. Do you guys think Faker looked over and saw this shit? It's like, oh, not again, man. Can't fucking take Korea fucking crying. This is... Oof. Alright, gold dead even. Red side scales better. Another detail, guys. Chemtech Soul is an insane role in this game. A Chemtech Soul is so pointless for blue side. Like, sure, you have Silas and all, but it really, like, it's not great. It's like Billy had all of the conditions. Like, you could even go so far where you're like, let's give Soul. Like, everything was in Billy's favor. In EUNA, we have concepts like don't do what Korea just did when you're losing, eat healthy, but it seems like Eastern teams break these rules and win anyway. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about, but I think you're grasping at straws. You're really grasping at straws. And there's small wins to take everywhere, but it's not, it's like you eating healthy and not ever getting tilted. It's like, it's a very, very good things. I'm just saying they're not optimizing these small things, but they are. Like, what are you talking about? They are. Like, I think the issue is, I think a big issue for the world is that people think that doing things good that are good for you needs to taste bad or feel bad. It's not the case, you know. You can eat healthy, delicious food, and I think emotion. There is a lot of like emotion is very important in games, and emotion can be very, very good in games, but you need to understand what it means for you to be in the zone. Some people play better when they're angry. Some people play better when they are calm. Some people want to be excited. Some people want to be chill. It really depends on the player. And if you are disrupting your own state of focus, then it's a negative thing. That's the main thing. Very, very negative thing. Right? It's a question of maintaining being in the zone. But what it means to be in the zone is very different for players. Like, emotions can be harnessed, and emotions can be powerful. But anything that is powerful can be used for good and for bad. And that's the main thing. That's the process of learning and internalizing what it means to be in the zone for you. Because, you know, people always say this vague concept of being in the zone. But being in the zone is plain and simple just the emotional state of mind where you perform the best. Specific heart rates, specific levels of emotion can be you being in the zone, you know? And that like understanding what that means for you is very unique to you and very unique to these players too, you know? Like even in the emotions that these players exude, right? Shun is always smiling. Someone told me, don't fucking smile. What the fuck is wrong with you? Focus. That would be just so destructive for the team. Bin seems calm and collected, face expression completely stone cold throughout the game, right? Like it depends on everybody, right? That's okay, Lemke2. Alright, so T1 still, the name of the game is they want to pressure the game, they want to get soul, they want to pressure Nash, they want to use item swings where they have advantages. But this Chemtech Soul I don't think is decisive at all. They get 2 core, but Ziggs is matched on 2 core, and here, the moment of truth. So we all know that in this moment, Faker just goes completely sicko mode. The main thing is that Faker pushes deep and then he crosses, he's shown on vision. Billy can walk away. They can walk away. Rakan just chooses to try to W cancel the Silas, which is not something that you can do. They give away the fight. The arrow flies and it's timed with Faker's collapse. And I want to highlight something. While I talked about Chemtech Soul being very bad, look at this Ryanair plant that Faker just took, bro. Look how fast he gets to midwave, right? Look at him on mid. He's flying, bro. He's flying. This is such a crucial moment to fight because Elk and Knight don't have sums. They don't have sums. 172 for Knight. He will probably hit, of course, the mark. But Billy just need to walk through topside and respect the silence that they did see on vision. It's just such a narrow window to execute this, because if Billy gets sums and Knight farms chickens and golems in a top wave, he is very close to the stacks that he needs. He bases on mana mune, and then suddenly this game will be quite difficult to win for T1. And then on as well, he decides to W the Silas that is Eing him, which doesn't work. You get cancelled. Like the timing of that, you doing that is very narrow. I think it's very hard to do it. And then Faker has Rakan ult, steals it, and flashes on to the backline who have no sums. Wow. Fucking Faker. The Poppy ult on 3. Billy. They had such a good position in the game. But this, of course, leads to Nasher. T1. Break mid tier 2. Get 2 kills and on no HP. Billy. Scrambling to try to get some kind of a steal, but Nash falls because they have the DPS. Wow. I thought Knight was about to do something crazy, like fucking flap over the wall here and try to play it. That's crazy. Zeus is like, hey yo, let's fucking get some DPM, baby. And T1 walk away with Nasher, and that of course accelerates the game, because now it's like this Nasher ties into the Drake Soul, and then second Nasher will spawn, and then with this Nasher they can get tier 2s, and that's it, you know. No, this is nuts, man. Like doing this in the World Finals, it's so fucking memorable, bro. I can talk about what Billy did wrong and not wrong, but like in the end, having the eye of the tiger to fucking grasp on to a play like this, it's crazy. It's fucking nuts, man. Bah. Fucking beautiful. Livestream says something about a tempo trap that Faker did to allow that play. I misunderstood what happened. So basically, I thought that Silas pushed bot and then faked that he based and hid in enemy jungle. I thought that was the tempo trap that happened, but it was way worse. Like, because I was trying to understand why they didn't realize that Silas is coming, but Silas just walked on vision and took a plant. So I thought what happened was that Silas pushed, fake based, and waited because, and then as Nara's walking on the next wave, that he just crashes onto mid while the enemy thinks the Silas based, and then he didn't, and then he found the timer on no flash, but he just took an airplane. He took a plant, you know. It was really still really fucking cool, you know. Such a crucial moment because Eric's flash and Knight's flash were just coming up, you know. Okay. Still, you know, still, it's like, you can defend the game. This is my homie, bro. This is my homie Becker. He's suffering, bro. This is the GM that hired me for Sandbox. We'll join T1 later and you know, has won 2 world championships. Based. Elk loses flash, just dry. Have you seen the waiting room before the last game? No, I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen any of the content. That's something we have to watch. We have to watch. I didn't know that that came out already. That shit came out already? Oh, I think it means something else. Alright. So here Knight is getting completely bullied by Faker on top. Like, he just has no HP. I don't know what the fuck is happening to him. Knight is getting completely pummeled in the 1v1. He loses the tier 2 top and Silas takes it while T1 is just sieging away. They burn the flash of Elk, which is super nice. But Knight is not farming stacks. And here we go, we send it again. Why are they always team fighting? Why are they always team fighting? Why are they always team fighting? Where it's not necessary. They full send it. But they need to, you know, use the Smolder Zigzult to, you know, slow everything down. Here Faker said the only way is forward. He dies in the end, but Gumeyushi is with his brother. And once again, this accelerates the game, guys. 3 kills, 2 turrets. Fucking love how Faker's playing, man. Beautiful how he's playing. Faker does not give a fuck. Any fight is winning. Alright. So now, 5k gold lead, Soul. It changes the dynamic of the game. Right? It's just, you're not on equal footing in terms of gold, and you reach your stacks at 25 minutes, you know? Someone in the chat asked, would you have voted for Faker's MVP? I would have voted Faker's MVP. I think Faker MVP and then Korea second. I think this game was too important. This game was, this game needs to be weighed so heavily because this game was way too fucking important, and Faker's game 5 was also insane. Who's your tournament MVP? Probably, I would say Korea. I think Korea had just such a good tournament, and no other support was impactful at all if you compare to Korea. I think that all the supports that came into the tournament that were highly rated, in my opinion, based off of the year, I think Lehens, On, even Delay, like these are players that were quite unimpactful. I think Delay was solid. I think he had decent, better than Lehens and On for sure, but not like super insane in my opinion. I think that his best of 5 against Billy was very uninteresting. I think his 4-man play on Genji in game 1 in the best of 3 that they played is doing a lot of, you know, it's carrying a lot of weight. But okay. So T1 now, we just need to pressure Nash, right? They got 3 core on Nash. They have items on everybody. They can just start hitting, push the enemy out because the enemy has no turrets at all. I think that's very, very bad. They're just like pushing them out and taking any fight possible. Like the Giga Tanky and of course T1 is just over accelerated, you know? Another thing is like Elk is just buying like fucking thrift shop items. I really don't like that. Because there's no clear time horizon that he's playing under. It was like Bin's economy was in the trash this game, and then Billy just threw, of course, they threw so hard their position. And on the other side, T1 punished super hard, like Honor with his play on Poppy was fucking insane. And then of course his engage from Faker was also really insane. Do you think Korea has a shout for the best support ever title? 5 straight years so far, he is world class now. I think 5 straight years is an exaggeration. I think it's very dishonest to say that Korea was good all year, even good all last year. I think that he has had bad stints in LCK, bad stints in MSI. And I think that that's important to be honest about. I think that T1 is the best team in the world by far when it comes to the conditions that the World Championship is. But I think that a lot of casual viewers that only watch the World Championship kind of disrespect the effort of the entire year. But definitely, obviously, like at this World Championship, I just said that I think that Korea is the MVP, right? I get the other side of the argument. I get that. I am just painting the whole picture for everybody. Like as I mentioned, I think Korea is the MVP of the tournament. And I think being honest about everything celebrates T1's success the most. I think anyone that says, oh, it was easy, you're so stupid for not thinking T1's gonna win and all that shit, I think you just you just remove the value of what T1 has done at the World Championship the last 3 years. And I think there is something impressive about being top 3, top 4 as well. I don't think that's completely disrespectful. That's something that you can disrespect either, which I think is something that people do, right? But, you know, I do think that if you look at a whole year, in the last years, there's been teams that have been better than them. Genji was better than them for the majority of the year. JDG was better than them for the majority of the year. Billy was better than them majority of the year. And I think that's important to highlight. I'm going to do a big breakdown of why the World Championship is different, but the simple details are that you have so many unique variables in terms of how your practice is, in terms of how your solo queue is, in terms of how your schedule is, in terms of how your food is, your location is, the travel is, and you're going to be challenged every step of the way. There was very, very small, you know, there are very pivotal moments where you get tested at a World Championship, and that's where experience really shines through. Because something that every World Championship winner that I have ever talked to, there is a bit of luck in terms of the decision making that you make when it comes to decisions about draft and practice. And I think that teams that get pushed, it's like the most amount of growth that happens during a world championship is on the games on stage. Because look at How Alive. They faced Bilibili at a pivotal moment. If they faced Bilibili earlier in the tournament, probably they would have beaten them. But they faced them at a pivotal moment where they said, guys, we have already played a couple of games with Shun now. Let's drop the Kindred Galio into the Silas blind that is performing so well. And in that series so far, what had happened was that the Silas blind kick was popping off. And then How Alive were like, we need to take the Silas away. And then Kindred Galio came through as an answer into Silas. And that's such a pivotal moment, right? If that happens later, it's more difficult. And when you are a team, you're the only team that has been together for 4 years. Like, I understand that Kana was playing for Zeus. 4 years, the majority of the players played together, right? 4 years. You have so much experience together, and I think that's very, very important to highlight. That you have so much experience together that you've been in every situation before, right? You've been in every situation before, and on the other side is when you look at the teams that are domestically dominant, MSI dominant, these are shorter tournaments. They are double elimination, shorter tournaments, and in LCK, your practice regimen is, insanely sharp. When you think about teams like Genji, for example, this is a team that is known for their discipline and highly precise play. That's something that is much harder to replicate in a format that is very, very sporadic in terms of practice. I can tell you guys from my personal experience, being at Worlds, like the last time I was at Worlds was 2022. So there's so much random shit that you have to deal with that you really need to be resilient, and your organization needs to be, very, very on point. Something that Roma always said in the videos where we break down past Worlds, he said, I am very proud that none of our players got sick. This is such an important detail. That 2022 Worlds was a Worlds that was riddled with COVID, right? Riddled with COVID. And the LPL teams coming into quarters, all of them were sick as fuck. And that's a part of the game. They were all sick as fuck, most of them. Really, really ill. I think JGG was the only one without sickness. I think maybe Missing was sick, right? And that matters. That's a part of the game. That's a part of the game. You need to be able to deal with that shit. From our side, right? You guys remember, I had 2 players that had COVID. They couldn't fly to Mexico. We prepared Bean and we prepared Rux. And we played with Rux on stage in the plains. And we had 0 practice with Rux. It was completely spontaneous. Rux was on a beach enjoying vacation. We just had to deal with it, right? And we had media days, and then our opponent had media days, and then our opponent had COVID, so we couldn't scrim, we didn't have practice. Our PCs were shit, solo queue was shit because of North America. And all of these variables are happening real time. Your resilience really gets tested. Your resilience gets insanely tested. And some teams break. That's where you see like teams that are heralded as favorites fall apart and break. And some teams thrive in that shit. DRX made a momentous run, right? They made a momentous run because they were pushed every step of the way. Every step of the way, they were at the brink of losing. And there, in those moments, you learn the most about yourself. You really, really learn the most about yourself at the World Championship. You don't get the most out of scrims. You don't get the most out of practice because it's very sporadic and inconsistent. You get the most out of the games you play on stage. And sometimes the first step you take might be a wrong one. And you have just a few chances to take the right steps. And that's why like teams that get pushed, like T1 or Bilibili, like they get to the finals, they get pushed. I think that's important to highlight, you know? Worlds is a very, very unique tournament. And being the best team at MSI, competitively, in terms of having like the best level of cohesiveness, that's what gets tested at MSI. But at Worlds, different metrics get tested in terms of how clutch you are, how experienced you are, how resilient you are. And we can all agree that these are metrics that T1 is the best in the world at. It's just a very, very unique tournament. Isn't Worlds the best showcase of skill and consistency? No, it's not. It's not. It isn't. MSI is. Double elimination tournament, best of 5, is the better way. Think about it like this. EWC, T1 1-2. Right? T1 1-2. The same metrics were tested. EWC, T1 1. It's not a coincidence. Because it's fucking random. They're playing on the stage. They flew in. It was a fucking Mickey Mouse tournament. Probably like they didn't scrim, didn't have solo queue, had media days. And this is like fucking T1 thrive. T1 thrive. Like T1 as players, they get fisted on a daily with obligations that they need to do. You know? T1 didn't win Red Bull event last year. That part was so stupid. It's like, imagine T1 has to play back-to-back BO1s on stage for like fucking 6-7 hours, and then they put G2 as the final game. Their jet lag is fucked. It's like 4 AM in Korea. They're playing a BO1 against the best team at the end of the day. How the fuck do T1 players not burn out from so many obligations? I think they do. That's the thing. I really think they do. I actually think they do. I think it's like I think what we saw, like, I don't want to bring it up because I really don't want to put attention to it. But what we saw signs of it in summer, right? We saw signs of extreme burnout in summer, right? Is it not fair to say T1 the org is dampening the player's success for money then? No, I think T1 just have deployed. They have deployed the K-pop star model. It's the same with like it's K-pop star groups in terms of the pressure that is on them, in terms of how they need to perform and how they need to be sharp and how their whole life is surrounded by that. That's the pressure of being on T1. You know, you are heavy as the crown, you know? Heavy is the damn crown. And being on T1 is the most prestigious position to be in all of esports. And you should hold on to that for their life. But okay. So they hit Nash. They kill Shun. Elder is spawning. And the game is already over, right? We had a gentleman in chat that said, ooh, they lost because on face check. It's like, already the game is over, mate. Like here, the realistic chances of Billy winning are close to non-existent. It's like they get pushed in with Nash, and now Elder is spawning at 1 minute. It's like, you know, maybe we look at it now, On could do something different. He's chipping away, he's spotting people, you know. But it's like, how do they enter, you know? It's so hard to realistically enter. Like here, sure, like On should just fucking W out and walk away or hit the plant. He's trying to squeeze a ward and he gets tackled. Sure, he's griefing. I get that. But in my opinion here, it's like fucking so hard to play the game already, you know? I don't think... It's like what he's doing is all good, obviously. Another thing for T1, right? is T1 probably the preparation for Worlds is the only time they get any rest the entire year. You know, people talk about the DDoS thing, but maybe the DDoS thing was a blessing, because at least they didn't need to do their stream hours. Is Faker the most clutch player in history? When it comes to the World Championship, yes. Yeah. I think that a World Championship that Faker lost where he was playing out of his fucking mind. Like 2017. But okay, this game is over. Big throws from Billy Billy. Game number 5. Let's have a sniff at game number 5. So basically, I never understood what DDoS means. Can someone explain to me, please? So basically, imagine your internet is like a highway, right? And each information piece that is being sent is a little car, right? It's a little car. And DDoS, basically denial of service attacks, is basically just congesting your highway with a bunch of bullshit cars doing just completely just fucking destroying your highway by sending fake packets, fake information, fake data that doesn't matter. And it's just the traffic just gets so congested that the packets that matter just fuck you over, you know? Right, Billy Billy was T1 game number 5. The adaptation here was Kalista ban. So Jax finally came through and then Gragas was the counter. And I really like this Galio blind pick. I was saying it in I was saying it here. It was pretty funny. Holy, my mic is so ass. That's what I said. Oh, it's muted? Oh, I don't know why it's muted. Let me see. Let me fix that. It's muted. All right, system. All right, here. Here.
The Zeus Dragoon. And stop the Dragooning. Dragoon. I think, guys, we're finally gonna see Faker on Galio.
I was spending Galio the whole stream. I was getting so upset with people. But here we go. So Jax, of course, invites the Gragas. That was like, I thought this is a skill check we're going to see in game 1. I think Galio, the answers into Galio, the funny thing is, it's like, you need to pick Tristana. You need to pick Smolder. You need to pick an AD mid. You need to be Genji. That's like the best thing you could have locked in against Galio. But here, Billy just said, let's just pick comfort. Fly, Phoenix, fly. But the issue is, I don't like the Kaiser lock-in because it invites the Xayah. This is the best circumstance to be Xayah under. And you're picking Kaiser, Ahri, Jax. You know, when I saw it at first, I thought, oh, T1, it's very hard for T1 to get initiative. But the thing is, their lane matchups are so fucking strong, man. The lane matchups are so fucking strong. So Xayah comes through and they ban Wukong, Kindred. And here, it's like, you are banning, you fucking picking Jarvan into Poppy. I get why they don't want to pick Vi, but Vi is just so much better here, man. Vi is just so much better here. Like, you can even be the one to pick the Xin Zhao. I am surprised here, like Rakan, Renata are bans that make sense, right? They're not crazy, considering, you know, going to blind pick, but Poppy comes through when you have a lot of dashes. But if your plan is to pick fucking Jarvan, there's no way you let Poppy through, in my opinion. Like, this just seems like a really random lock-in. I get that Shun is a fantastic Jarvan, but this is a horrible Jarvan game to play. didn't think much of the Xin lock-in either. I thought picking Xin into like Jax or whatever is not that great. But I think the most important detail for T1 is that their matchups are very good. They have winning mid, winning bot, winning top. And if that's the case, that usually extends in the mid game too. And if they can push the waves, it means that they can be first on location. Right? I think in a world where if Bilibili is first on location, I do think that face checking with this draft can be hard too, right? Because they don't have like the best engage tools. But if Gragas can push, Galio can push, Xayah, Poppy have prior on mid, then how does blue side ever crack this team? You know, they can't. They really can't. And the most important detail for me is that they have winning matchups everywhere. Galio against Ahri is a very hard matchup for Ahri. She can't chip away at his HP. He can just push and ignore her. Same as the Silas matchup, right? Xayah Poppy into Rel Kaiser is very winning for Xayah Poppy in my opinion. And then you have Gragas into Jax. So the early game, like if you transition out of early game ahead with this blue side comp, I think that you can pull things off. But realistically, it shouldn't be possible against red side champs. Did I just open, close? I closed the tab. Here. Here. Alright, wait. So let's take a look at this game. No, my main issue is like, bro, if I know it's not the best Vi game, but if they picked Vi, I think it would have been better than Javan, because at least you have counterplay with R and you can CC chain somebody. I guess why I think like Javan being good against Xayah is so fake, in my opinion. Because it's like she can ult you ult as well, and in most cases you will die because Javan's not tanky at all. I don't know. I just kind of hate it. Yeah, I guess why Knight. I understand why Knight doesn't want to play Smolder after that fucking shit game. Can you really call Bin the best top laner if the only champs he can proficiently play are Jax, Rumble, Camille, and Fiora? I think that you can you really participate in the conversation if you haven't watched Bin play? Like, what's the point in making an opinion if you didn't watch Bin play, or like what's the point of contributing? I really don't get it. Like he's literally spamming Jax only. Okay, so you just confirmed to all of us that you just watched Worlds and then you made your opinion as if, you know, you came in at the third year of class, you know, you came in at the end of the semester, you watched a couple of lectures, you're like, oh, I understand this lecture, and now I can talk about everything that I've missed. He didn't even watch Worlds, how he's been spamming Jax. I think he played a lot of Jax games. I think he played like 9 Jax games. I think that's more than any other player played a single champ. I watched the entire season in Worlds, but why do you think his pool seemed more limited at this tournament? I think every top laner had a limited pool this tournament, no? You just played the same champs on rotation, no? In my opinion, Zeus shows way more impact than any other top. I think it depends on how you see it. Like if you want to walk away from this world saying that Zeus had a better tournament than Bin, I think that's not a crazy thing to say. But if you look at the whole year, I think that Bin was way better than Zeus the whole year. But okay, we move on. Yeah, lane swaps definitely denies a lot of the champions, but I think that probably hurts Zeus more. That probably hurts Zeus more. Like, Zeus can't play his goofy ass champs, you know? Look at Zeus, for example. He's fucking versatile. He can play Ornn, Gragas, Camille, Gnar, Rumble. Yeah, I think that you are arguing in very, very bad faith. So I'm going to not invest time into you, my friend. But you're welcome to enjoy the stream and the chat. Okay, so Bilibili swap, I think that's very good. They have Kai'Sa and Tsaya, I think it makes a lot of sense. They invade late. They look to pressure dive. Elk hits Zeus, and here Rel bases to connect into Jax. It's just a question of can. This is like the reverse of what we saw in other cases. I think the main thing that is so awkward about this is the fact that, you know, Rel bases so early and Zeus is already on the top wave. I want to see how Zeus chooses to be top, because I think he has the intention to just find the window where Jarvan is not ready on level 3, and I think that Kai'Sa Rel just overpush. I think they overpush because Rel wants to get level 2 as fast as possible to be on time on bot, but I think there's just a mistake. This is just a mistake. Because look, like Zeus sees this right away. It's like they're crashing wave 2 and then he's walking top. He's just walking top. Why T1 banned Jax on red if Gragas is so good? Because the enemy can choose to pick Jax on 3. And maybe that's the situation that they don't want to play into. The enemy can also ban Gragas on 3. And then maybe you're in trouble, right? There's a lot of threats on red side that can deny your counter pick. I mentioned 2 of them. Alright, so very nice here, bro. Zeus, lane swap understanding. That I agree. Much better than like BLG and Bin, you know? Zeus seeing that the enemy overpushed and going into top side is really fucking smart, man. This is 2 waves, enemy crashed, and he knows that Rel wanted to go into bottom side, and T1 should know. Knight can go anywhere. He is never winning worlds, does not have clutch factor. There is a wall between a great and a god mid laner. Ugh. People don't realize how much they are disrespecting Faker when they say this. It's like Faker is bringing something very unique to the table at the World Championship, and like, unless the take is that only Faker can win worlds and nobody else can, then yeah, that's also a very stupid take. But Knight has been clutch this tournament too, even this series. I think that we're being a little bit silly. I think. Okay, we're just gonna read this paragraph one more time. I don't know about y'all, but if Ben can't think of pulling any champ out of his pool in situations where those champions are needed, then why bother? You all say you can play a lot of champs, but I see in Worlds. That's the thing, you only watch Worlds. That's your issue, man. Can you just accept that you only watch Worlds and that your knowledge comes from a very limited amount of games, when there is literally like T1 played 170 games this year. Bilibili played like 130, 140. Do you realize how many games you've missed out on by only watching Worlds? Can you accept that you come from a position of complete inept, like you just have completely a lack of knowledge? Can you accept that? Finish reading first? I did finish reading. But it's okay. I don't need you here. You are so uninteresting. Like, you're out. Like, it's so hard to get banned in my chat. But he's obviously just arguing in bad faith and saying the same opinion over and over again. Insanely, insanely stupid. Alright, back to the game. So I think Billy did such a fucking insane job of stabilizing this game. Fake it, fucking burning flash 1v1. It's not good for Knight at all. This was gorgeous from T1 bot lane. So Kaiser bases on 2-wave crash into bot. Really, really bad. We mentioned, like, they hard shoved 2, Gragas got ahead, hard shoved 2, defending bot, Jax us to TP top. Like, it's just not good, in my opinion. Not good. Let's take a look at Faker's flash. What the fuck did Faker flash? I don't remember. I just know that he did flash. Okay, he's just trolling. He's just flash Eid. Okay, it's just flash D, but yeah. There's a galley mechanic that Faker tried to use. The show I mentioned on stream, can link you the video. Okay. Why there aren't many good native Chinese mids? There aren't really good native mids anywhere besides Korea. Have you realized that? The truth is, great players beget great players. And when you have Faker in your region, Rookie in your region, and then Rookie went to China, right? And you had Pawn in your region, BDD in your region. It's just the competition is very, very tough. It's like, without Faker being in Korea, Showmaker, Chovy, like, these players wouldn't be the players that they became, or Zeka, right? They needed to face up against that resistance. Very important. The same way, it's like, sometimes it's coincidental. I think top laners in Korea are not that great. We have Keen and Zeus. Keen was on the wrong team for the majority of his career, and Keen and Zeus are really strong players. But the next players in line is Doran and Kingen. So, that's ass. And maybe a player like Dudu can become better. I definitely think he can be better. But alright, let's check out this combo that people are talking about. Yeah, I know he didn't eat the wrong way. He just fucking misjudged the distance. Is this it, guys? He just yeah, I know that he can eat. Yeah, really? This is, come on, man. Oh my lord. No way. This is the combo that people thought that this is the crazy combo? Nah, bro. He just flash E, bro. Ain't no way, bro. Yeah, bro, he just flash E. Like, what? Yeah, bro. There's no secret mechanic. You just flash and use a spell. Okay. Well, we move on. People actually thought he eat the wrong way? No. Whatever. Fuck me, man. Oh, Faker, eat the wrong way again, man. I'm kidding. Why? Okay. All right. So the kill faker, he had no flash, he trolled. Like, honestly, like, horrible. Here, I want to point out, so Elk crashed 2 into base on 11 CS. He came with no item advantage. T1's bot lane just stayed on bush. And this is fucking brilliant. Brilliant. The enemy thinks they based. And they get fucking clippity clapped here, man. Because Zinza's coming into river, and then they cut off Elk. Owner misses the W, which is not the greatest, but here the flash. And keep in mind, Billy, they are slow pushing out. They're completely fucked. Billy bot lane is so fucked here, guys. And just crashing 2 waves on top into getting Gragas so far ahead, and Gragas having TP advantage of the crashing wave, and Jax needing to TP with only refillable. Like, these are very, very crucial details in the lane swap. Elk crashed 2 waves, guys, and based on nothing, and walked bot. I just think that T1 in this sequence, right? Gragas going top because he sees that enemy stack 2 wave, and going bot and just Eing into, of course, the turret here to get XP because he sees the enemy crash 2, knowing Java's not going to be level 3 on the wave, and knowing that this is a signal that Rel is going bot is fucking insane. And then here, the signal that Kai'Sa is on a fucking pink ward here on a base, and they chunk Rel on the HP, T1 crashing that wave and then going, it's fucking smart, man. I'm assuming Generation Miracles is trolling. We continue. I think, at least in my opinion, it should be common knowledge that if you E backwards with Galio, that you hit. But okay. I thought legit you guys are gonna show me some fucking crazy new combo. I really thought so. but okay. I'm getting baited today. Okay, so even though Elk survives, this is fucking pretty much a death. He bases, gets a fucking cull, and this wave is freezing, and Gumiyushi's level 4, Keria's almost level 4 against Elk, no flash, and the wave is just fucked. Now Javan comes through to try to back up, and Owner has all the freedom in the world to decide what to do. In the end, Xayah bases, goes top, and Zeus is on bot with TP advantage. Bin is slow pushing out, Xayah is looking to catch. Classic little grub swap. They hit the wave, crash the wave. They step through. This is so painful. This is a very good play. The play is very good. But he doesn't hit the Q. He hits that Q, gets W for free, Chain of Night, and then he dies. Could have been fucking brilliant, because honestly the timing where Owner goes, it's kind of dangerous. He's playing on Galiold, but you know, Bilibili is just 5 in river. He misses it and he flashes it, and now Bilibili use all of their juice already. They already use all of their power. Owner flashed all of it, and he dashes forward. Nice little E flash onto On, who has of course no flash, and Zeus, Woody, all fruity. Faker just has no spells to follow up, so he just queues out. Ah, it's so close, guys. It's so close. It's such a difference maker. On had a rough one, man. On had a rough one. I really had high expectations of him. So keep in mind in all of that situation, Xayah caught a big wave, Kai'Sa sacked her bot wave, and look what Xayah's catching bot. Like Kai'Sa's just getting completely economically fisted. Really, really economically fisted. Xayah caught a big wave, pushed out, and caught a big wave bot, and there was the freeze. So now we have 81 CS against 48 because of all these things that we mentioned, you know? I always think Zeus and Korea have an easy case and path to being the best all time in the roles. Do you think that possibility exists for Honor and Gumushi? I think it's not an easy path. It's definitely not an easy path. Top lane is an easier path because so many top laners just had like two good years and then they disappeared, like Nuguri or Deshai and like fucking Smeb that everybody loves mentioning. Marin, that fucking drives me crazy. Like Marin had one good year. And there's Khan as well, right? Khan was amazing for a very long time. I think I put Khan over Smeb. I think Khan, Deshai, Bin, and Zeus are the 4 players that, in my opinion, should be in the conversation. I think anyone else should not be in the conversation. All right. Elga's on level 5, guys, against Gumushi 7. Like, his Javan is abandoning him. And that's it, you know. Korea ready to go? I don't know. I have a deep appreciation for how long Meiko has been insane. Like, Meiko has been amazing for a very long time. Like, Meiko won MSI 2015, guys, and is still playing really well. He has won Worlds, has won MSI, he has won countless LPL titles. Yeah, just Gumushi is fucking marvelous on Xayah. The way he chipped away on On's HP before and his death is just pathetic from On. There's no other way to say it. Like T1's advantage is just so massive. And I think that Bidi's awareness, like how they fought the grubs was really bad. How they managed lanes was really, really bad. And it was rough to watch in the early game. I like this play. When I saw it live, I didn't like it too much. But the truth is, T1 is going to lose first tower no matter what. He's going to lose first turret. They're going to lose first turret no matter what. I really, really like that they find this play. This is really fucking sick from Knight. Like, he sends it. This is the only window. The thing is, bot tower is going to lose. Like, other teams are going to TP bot here. Which is what I expected, that they TP bot. But instead they TP to fucking full send it. And they go so fucking hard in the paint here on Gumushi and Korea. I think Knight gets a charm. Bin plays a super good 2 with the E flash right, Gumushi. And then they get the dragon. And they kill Honor. Honor didn't need to die. But I really like this play, because that bot tower is gonna die no matter what. I think it gave them some breathing, you know? Rikyo's for Ari, which is super nice. But Honor doesn't need to die. I think this moment is just Gumushi use some and then peace out, you know? Okay. Now T1 had this awkward game state where with the champions, it's like they're a walking death ball. It's not super easy to dive or to engage or to find punishes. They just push the waves and it's very easy for blue side to just catch and to defend dives, right? T1 have Prive everywhere, which makes them first on objectives, but Bidi can stabilize as long as they're farming their camps. Here Ari is pushing bot all the way, and T1 are trying to race with the grubs. The key thing here is that they don't use Herald because they want to use it for mid turret. Maybe you can argue that it's better to use the Herald here to just break the tower and the piece out into mid. But Ari gets a tower bot and gets farm, and they manage to save the tower because the enemy wants to save Herald, and they also save the blue buff. Gragas now on bot. The reason I highlight these things is because Bilibili actually managed to close out the gold lead. They managed to close out the gold lead. T1 eventually collapsed into top side. They get to tier 2, but Ari is pushing very, very deep waves and now gets Prio on one wave. Here coming into this situation as well, Knight has 2 core, so his farm has been very, very well distributed, you know. Managed to farm bot in isolation, the triple kill. I think that he's sitting here on 2 core is very, very nice at this point in the game. They managed to defend, and Jax is once again pushing for free. I don't think that anyone's gonna ever pass Faker's legacy. It's impossible. I think before he won Worlds last year, I think it was possible, but not anymore. Like, last year, Ruler was building arguments. Like, if Ruler won Worlds last year with JDG, then he was the only player that could potentially compete. But the moment Faker won Worlds last year, no way. And now winning Worlds this year? Nah, it's so finished. It's so finished. If Ruler won with JDG last year, then it's like you have a player that has the longevity, he has won a world championship in the past, he has a fucking golden road, a modern golden road, while Ruler is being the best player in the world. That would be like, ooh, now he's building fucking arguments. But I said it on stream. I said, Faker, if T1 has won League, they won League of Legends, they beat League of Legends. 100%. Every achievement unlocked, boom, boom, boom. They won the game. They beat it. This is impossible. It's not happening, by the way. Like you would need to see something crazy as, oh, this player just won Worlds 3 years in a row. Some shit like this. And it also needs to be against Faker. You know, he needs to beat Faker. Alright, let's take a look at the rest of this game. So I have RITP, they just want to defend this mid turret at all cost, which allows them some breathing room round to step into river, which is also very important. Then we use Herald, and they're not progressing much with the 5 grubs. I think Bilibili did a very good job of stabilizing the games in terms of how they push their waves, you know? I give them respect for that. Because Knight was pushing on side, collecting towers, they're getting tier 1s, you know? I think it's very, very impressive. But the truth of the comps is something they need to face eventually, you know? I think the main issue is just that Gumyushi was so far ahead, and he just had prior perma-mid, and they can just be first on every objective. The comps are so polarizing, so if T1 face check into them, I think Bilibili probably can win. If blue side try to face check into this comp, they are gonna fucking lose. They're gonna completely lose. And even through that lead, we've now reached a point where the sides are relatively even, right? Gold-wise, Jax stabilized, Kaiser stabilized, Ari stabilized. I think they did a good job. They did a very, very good job. There's a conversation about Hall of Legends in my chat, and I think that Faker is the only player big enough to have his own Hall of Legends. I think the best thing that Riot can do is basically do like 5 players, you know? Like, I think if they do like next in line should probably be China, right? Like legendary Chinese players. like, or LPL players, not even Chinese, just legendary LPL players. Let's say they release Uzi, Jagilov, like Rookie, Xiaohu, Meiko, you know, like that could be something, you know. I think that's the easiest way to market it. Everyone gets their own skin, you know. You don't need to have like fuck the $500 skin. You don't need that shit. Like whoever has the biggest status in China, I think that's the move, because it's a popularity contest, plain and simple. It's a popularity contest. It is a popularity contest. So, because it's like if I think Deft could be next inductee. No, I don't think so. I don't think he's popular enough. But okay, let's take a look at this game, because now we're reaching the climax of the game. I think we are never going to see a single player be inducted into Hall of Fame. But there's not going to be. They can make it a popularity contest, but there's not one yet. It is a popularity contest. It is a popularity contest. If you don't think it's a popularity contest, you're completely delusional. You're completely delusional if you don't think that's the case. I think that the move is to do Hall of Legends themes. Like if you do European players, like let's say you do Reckless, Caps, Jankos, Perks, right? You just do a class LEC Legends, boom. You can't have an event about one LEC player. Doesn't make any sense. You can't have a fucking event about one LCS player. Doesn't make any sense. Like who's gonna buy that shit? This is just it's not profitable at all. You need, like, there's only Faker is at that level, guys. We're not gonna, I don't think we're gonna ever have a $500 skin again. In before Faker's prestige skin at Worlds is gonna be a $500 skin. Faker being the only choice so far was not by popularity, is what I'm saying. No, I think that if obviously Faker winning helps his popularity a lot, but if Faker was not the most popular player, then it really wouldn't be the case. Like it would only make sense if they can sell, and popularity sells. There's a lot of players that have achieved super much that nobody gives a fuck about. Alright, let's finish this review, guys. I'm spiraling a little bit. Yeah, once again, it's like Gumushi can just stand on the wave with Flash's cleanse and ult. There's nobody that can engage on him because Poppy is covering him, and On was looking for mushrooms here, lost HP. They just full send it on, and I didn't like that. And like on Zeus, sorry. I think On just trolled the Drake setup. Because on paper, this is not a bad time to fight, right? It's like Zaya's not on 3 core, maybe you can do something here, you know? There are definitely players that have won plenty that nobody cares about. So it's not only about legacy. Faker has the strongest legacy, but he is also the face of the game. He's the face of the game. Like, let's say this, right? When Faker won only worlds with Koma and Bengi, did Bengi have popularity? No, it's like, oh, Bengi has legacy. No, people barely give a shit about Bengi in comparison to Faker. Obviously, Bengi is fucking cool. He's badass. He won worlds with Faker and did a lot, you know? But Faker has an attitude, has a class, and the way he plays, and the way he's done things, and the way he built a perception, you know? So don't give me this. Like, you guys are really, really like delusional if you think it's only winning, because it's not only winning. It's just that Faker is the collection of all of these things, right? He has played insanely well, he's insanely clutch, he's winning fucking championships left and fucking right. Like, he's a combination of fucking everything. Yeah, I don't know how people are arguing this. It's like, yeah, it's because he's E1. Well, it was like, there were players that were on his teams that were not as popular. The biggest difference is that Faker's still playing, the others aren't. The thing is, you're not listening to my argument. Because when T1 won Worlds the first time, Faker was the most popular. When Faker won Worlds 2 times with Bengi, Faker was still way more popular than Bengi, right? It's... If you can't see that argument, then you are helpless, and we can move on to the game. Yeah, I think there could be a world where they do like Western players. Like, maybe they do Western players, they do Double Lift, Bjergsen, Caps. Maybe they put them all together. Maybe there's like 10 Western players. Maybe they do like some event about 10 Western players. Like, no one's big enough in the West to justify a big ass event for themselves. Or maybe with the three split system, maybe they're going to like crown one player per split. Maybe that's gonna happen. It's like, oh, split 1, we are celebrating Uzi. Split 2, we are celebrating the Shy. Split 3, we are celebrating Deft. Maybe that happens. Maybe. Yeah, but the majority of this game pretty much is Zaya has prior on mid, which means that T1 is first on objective, and if they have first on objective, they can't lose. That's the name of this game. Bilibili really scrambled here to try to get any sort of initiative, but Ari is late to the party and Shun just gets cancelled on the EQ over. I think that them burning Gumiyushi spell is good, but on just queuing air and Shun getting cancelled, the fight starting like this is pretty bad. I don't know, Eric does good job of isolating Korea here, but Komushi flashes out, and then Owner is just not... I don't know, I'm just looking at how Knight is playing it. I don't know if I like it. I think Bin's angle here is completely nuts. Like, how Bin plays this is completely crazy. Like, look how he plays that shit, bro. That's fucking crazy how he plays it. Like, he even gets the crab, bro. Bin even gets the crab. What the hell? He's just playing with his boy. I think they need to play forward. Gumiyushi's, I mean, Faker's so late to the party, but his arrival is so... I don't know, Bin, this sequence is, bro, he's just in the Matrix. Look at Bin's sequence. Like, look at this. He flashes Poppy ult over it onto Gumiyushi. He gets one tapped. Gumiyushi pretty much got caught into this. But then at some point, I think, you know, On is just kind of trolling, no? Like, what is On doing? Is On W just cancelled? He just like waits until Owner stacks Q on him? Is that what happens? Look. He just gets cancelled on his W, doesn't have CC, and then he like flashes like a bozo away from his team. Why doesn't he flash into his team? What is On doing? Knight with the E flash doesn't connect to owner, but here they're just out of gas, plain and simple. They're just out of gas. I'm gonna look at what Gumayushi could have done different here. I think Gumayushi doesn't really have a lot of space to play in. I think Zeus kind of just ints him, no? I think Zeus just ints him. I'm not gonna lie. Like he sells him. But yeah, let's say there's a world here where On flashes properly and Owner doesn't commit to kill him. You get 2 for 3. And I think nothing else would happen. I still think it's like the most important detail would be that Knight has flash and Elk has sums and Gumayushi doesn't. I think that's like the one. That's like the biggest detail. Even Zeus, how he Gragosults. Like what does he actually Gragosult? He is here and then he Gragosult nothing. Actually, Zeus just completely ran it down. That's crazy. He completely ran it down. It's actually the shy combo. Holy fuck, he griefed. That's crazy. Ah, Shiba. That's nuts. And yeah, the game is over, guys. The game is over. Because Soul is spawning and they have Nash. And here's just, you know, the classic. Billy is trying to kill Zeus. Zeus is a tanky boy, though. This is a tanky Gragas version. Elk with the beautiful hourglass, too. And they tried to CC chain, but Zaya and Zinzao are coming. And in all of this, you know, Poppy ulted Ari TP. Like, that's the fucking massive one. So fucking insane. I didn't see when this happened live. I really had no clue this happened live because I was just screaming, losing my voice. Ah! Like, and the Poppy ult on Ari. Bah! Because it's like, Ari TP's in here, bro. This could get really fucking dirty, man. Wow. Damn. Fucking unkillable Demon King. Fucking hell. Holy. Unkillable Demon King. Wow. Yeah, it's like I think how close the series was is really understated, man. It's really understated. I think just T1 had some moments. Faker had some moments to win the game, and he took him. I think this was a brilliant final. Really brilliant final.